Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Intel Extreme Masters New York qualifiers for the Asian realm. My name is Kyle Laris, alongside Apollo. How are you doing this morning, man?
Good. It's Monday morning. It's, well, Monday morning. It's time for StarCraft.
It certainly is.
Same every morning, I suppose.
That's how we start our week, and that's how you guys should be starting your week as well, as we have a pretty impressive lineup of players on the way today. Just to explain exactly what's been happening throughout the Asian qualifiers, we had Stage 1 and Stage 2 of Korea and Taiwan. We've also had one stage, in fact, of Australia, and then we had Chinese qualifiers moving on through. So 8 players in total will comprise of the players playing today for 2 spots at New York.
Yep, to join the players that have already made it to New York, 4GG, Pult, Naniwa, QXC, Huck, and State are the players that are already qualified for the Intel Extreme Masters New York tournament, which is happening in roughly 3 weeks' time now, so it's not too far away, and there'll be 2 more players to join them before we go over to New York.
Yep, and that's a pretty cool lineup of players, gotta say. From Korea representing, we have Zest, Curious, INnoVation, and San. And noticeably, 3 of these players actually made it all the way through the qualifiers, whereas INnoVation was one of the only players advancing there to actually have a seed into the later stages of the qualifier. So very, very cool, I feel, to see the 3 players moving on through the entire qualifier, as opposed to the ones that we initially thought were going to do well.
That's right, and it is a good set of players in there, to be honest, with INnoVation amongst them, leading the charge towards the top 2 slot. And then you've got some really good other, as you said, Korean players, San and Zest, the 2 Protoss players that are playing from Korea, and then Curious as well. A good set of players. And they are the favorites to beat all 4 of them. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. In any qualifier that consists more than just Korea as a country, the Koreans are always going to be the ones that try to stop here. And that could be possible. It could be possible in the players that we have. It
could. From C, Southeast Asia, we have representing Pig and Petraeus. Initially, we were going to have Iagers. Yep. However, due to injuries and just wanting to recover from those, Petraeus takes his spot, as he did take 3rd place during the Southeast Asia qualifiers. And then from China, we have... I'm going to butcher his name.
Go on, give it a go.
Xianzhou? I'm going to go with that. Xiaozhou? And Ash of VG. So 2 players we don't know too much about. We saw Ash at the Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai, where his Protoss actually was defeated by some lovely little mech from some of our Chinese representatives. So that was interesting, to say the least. But other than that, we haven't really seen much of our other Chinese player that I can't pronounce the name of, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about Chinese players, is not their names or how to pronounce them. It's the fact that we don't really know their skill level, because the Chinese scene is so pushed out in the corner, basically. Yeah. We don't really see them. And then all of a sudden they do come and play in a couple of tournaments like WCS America, like IEM Shanghai. And they do put out some good results. So they are definitely, out of all the players today, of course the Koreans being the favorites, the Australians and the New Zealander are basically the guys as the underdogs, and then the Chinese players, the 2 of them, are the wild cards, which anything can really happen. Whether they just come and maybe, attempt to qualify in top 2, or they just drop out. It's very difficult to tell. But I guess that's what we're here to find out, right? In this this bracket.
A lot of people probably in the European and American scenes aren't really that familiar with a player like Petraeus, for example, who does hail from New Zealand. Obviously, a lot of people are more familiar with Pig, as you do see him quite a lot, much more than the other kind of Southeast Asian players in these international tournaments, or at least trying. He's attended DreamHacks, I believe, in the past, and trying to make his way there. But Petraeus, in the Southeast Asia scene, is one of the hardest working guys in that scene. Works very, very hard and very, very diligently to try and be at the top of his game. And he does really, really well. The only thorn in his side that seems to be there constantly for a player like Petraeus is someone like Iagers, who is on the same team as him, Frenetic Array, who kind of beats him in the finals of a lot of tournaments.
And, well, he also needs to play against another Terran player in the likes of INnoVation, which is going to be our first game this evening. So it is going to be difficult. Of course, everyone trying to qualify for the IEM New York stop, the $25,000 tournament in America. It's a difficult set of qualifiers that we have here. There's a good set of players. Obviously, everyone wanting to go. It's the last Tier 1 WCS tournament before BlizzCon happens. So, of course, for people like INnoVation, they're not really qualifying for extra points unless he wants to go over to 9,000.
May as well.
But in reality, this is about the prize money. INnoVation's in search of an international win. Has not got that yet, and definitely looking towards that. And of course, the Australians and the New Zealander and the Chinese players just want to play in a big tournament, and this is the perfect one to be in.
Yeah, I mean, for all these players outside of INnoVation, the points aren't going to mean a huge amount. I mean, of course, it's always nice to have those, but it's more about the prize pool here, because a lot of them are really outside of reach of attaining a spot at BlizzCon. So it's an important thing to consider for these players, but it's going to be a huge, huge mountain to climb if they were ever to try and get there. People like Petraeus, for example, would have to completely smash WCS career or something like that. But I don't even think, is he in the round of 16? No. So, I mean, kind of impossible. But other than that, this is a big deal, because getting to Intel Extreme Masters Intel Extreme Masters New York for one of these players, this was the hardest qualification run throughout any of them. Guaranteed. So if you were able to take this, you have a really, really good shot at taking New York.
Absolutely, and who wouldn't want to take New York? I would love to take New York, and that's what they're going to be fighting for. So, as mentioned, we are going to be jumping into this game. First of all, INnoVation. We're playing. Is INnoVation going to lose? Seriously?
I don't think so.
Still the best player in the world, in my opinion.
Yes, he's rank 1, like rank 1 in WCS points as well. That's a tall order for Petraeus. A guy that in the past 2 finals that he's been in has lost 3-1 to Iagers each time. That being said, Iagers is a Zerg killer in the Southeast Asia scene. Yeah. He is the Zerg killer. But there's a big difference between INnoVation and Iagers. INnoVation's got a lot of strength behind him.
There's a big difference between both of them.
Yes.
INnoVation doesn't have an axe.
He doesn't have a beard.
Or a beard.
That's...
So I'm actually really interested in these games because, for me, I just want to see how they will play. Because this scene, the players that we're covering today, especially for someone like me and you who cover WCS Europe all the time, this is one of the reasons why I like to watch WCS Korea a lot, because it's good to update yourself on how some of the best players in the world are playing. So, I mean, are we really going to see too much change from INnoVation when it comes to his Terran versus Zerg today? I don't think so, but that's something I've been looking towards to see. And of course, what does the Southeast Asia scene do, the Australians? Because we already know that the Australian scene and New Zealand scene, or more so the Australian scene, is full of good Zerg players. Can they, or do they know something to stop INnoVation? They all play a very similar aggressive style, and we'll see, because obviously this is going to be one of the toughest games that how do you say his name?
Petraeus.
Petraeus has ever played.
Yes, it has to be. I mean,
this is difficult, obviously.
It really is. The Australians had an event recently where it was actually MVP over there doing some games.
It was who sponsored that thing? Because I know they invited MVP over. I'm sure it was like a sponsored thing, more so than just a tournament. It was just a series of show matches with MVP,
AS Rock?
right? Yeah,
I think it was AS Rock that was sponsoring it. But yeah, it was a ton of show matches, you're correct. Petraeus did fall 0-2 to MVP, which it's MVP, he's pretty good as well. But Pig, of all people, actually beat MVP 2-1. So that's a big win for Pig.
Yeah, it's a big win for Pig. I mean, he's always had a really good Zerg versus Terran and Zerg versus Zerg. He will be going up against San, if I remember correctly, in today's bracket, which San has been displaying his excellence when it comes to playing against Zerg players. He's been performing very well recently. That's going to be a tough game for Pig as well. We are getting the invites into this game, though. And INnoVation messaged me personally.
Ooh. Hey. I didn't get one.
I've been running into him a lot recently.
Yeah, I guess so.
And he messaged me saying, "Is that you, Apollo?" ?
Is that
And I'm
you?
like, "Yes, hi." And he said, "Hi."
He just said hi with like no smiley or anything.
To be honest, like, INnoVation, we're all big StarCraft fans here watching this, and we're all big INnoVation fans. He has started to open up a little bit more.
Oh, good.
In recent times. When I first met him, if you didn't know this already, he was a robot. Like, no emotions. Even after his WCS win in Season 1, I met him. He was just very stone-faced, straight, and didn't really say too much. Didn't really attempt to try to be funny or speak English or smile. It's very straight. But then when I saw him again at DreamHack, well, Season 2 finals, he was a little bit more opened up a little bit because he's with the Acer team.
Yep.
And then by DreamHack, we saw him bantering on stage with MMA, with Tasia. But of course, INnoVation's biggest weakness is his Terran versus Terran.
Yes.
Right? There is only a single other Terran player in this bracket today.
That's
the Chinese player, which obviously means that this is a ideal bracket for INnoVation to get top 2. And to be honest, I would be very, very surprised if he didn't get top 2. I think it would be considered a major upset if he didn't get top 2 from this bracket.
Definitely.
Didn't play New York. And of course, you guys, if you're going to the New York event, if you're going to Comic-Con, you get to see INnoVation play. I think that's pretty cool.
That certainly would be cool, yeah. But now, guys, we can jump into our first series of the day. It's going to be Petraeus facing off against INnoVation. And that man spawning up to the top left-hand corner is our blue Terran, representing Team Acer as well as Korea. He is INnoVation. And down to the bottom right-hand corner, we have our yellow Zerg, representing Frenetic Array, as well as New Zealand. He is Petraeus. Petraeus.
All right. What do you think? I mean, because I'm pretty sure INnoVation's going to play the normal style, because obviously INnoVation's got 2 branches to go down, which is like just a Reaper expansion or Command Center first into his regular play. I'm sure of it. But what do you think Petraeus can do? And what maybe could we expect from him to be able to topple such a giant like INnoVation?
For Petraeus, I wouldn't mind seeing him do something like what we were seeing Hyun do at DreamHack. You know, the really kind of heavy Roachling Bane mid-game and not really going over to Mutalisks. But it's hard, though. Going up against a player like INnoVation, what do you do? How do you beat this man? Because his TVZ is just so good.
But one of the biggest weaknesses of INnoVation is that he is so well-known and so well-liked.
That's true.
And so popularized to the point where everybody knows his builds inside out. Everybody.
Yeah.
I'd be very surprised if there was a big StarCraft fan that didn't know how INnoVation likes to play.
True.
Right? Which makes him a very easily opened book. And I'd like to quote a very intelligent and a fantastic, superior man to everyone else in the world, Flash, who in a recent interview, some of you may have read, he said that because he also is so popularized and so followed, that a lot of people blind counter his style because Terran is so pushed down one angle of play when it comes to Terran versus Zerg. They're always pushed to the 3 command centers, double engineering, but you don't really see too much deviation. And if we do see deviation and it's scouted and spotted, Terran plays massively behind, which is why we see the same thing over and over and over again. One thing from INnoVation, he went for a 13 gas over 12 here, which actually slows his initial Reaper down, but does speed up his command center a little bit. I think it probably was a mistake sometimes, you know, when you just, first game of the day in a tournament, you do just queue up another SCV instead of the 12 gas. But I think that this is definitely something that Petraeus must look upon if he's able to beat INnoVation.
That's certainly right. But at the same time, it's you're mentioning that INnoVation style is so well read into, so well studied, but no Zergs, very few Zergs have been able to solve it in the past month or two. Currently, INnoVation in the past month or two is 28 maps won and 3 maps lost against Zergs. Those 3 maps were to Jaedong and Dongregoo.
Yeah.
But that comes out for an 18 series won and 1 series lost.
Yeah,
so that's absolutely crazy, crazy results from a man that just is so solid in this matchup. You know what's coming, but how do you break it?
That's the thing. When you're a solid player and you know how to stop all-ins, well, you're very, very difficult to beat.
You just don't die.
Yeah, this Reaper's already got 2 kills, and that, that's already a sentiment to Petraeus playing this game. He's like, oh my god, his Reaper's stronger than most other Terran players' Reapers already. He's got 2 Zerg kills. Ugh.
Run away.
3rd command center's down for INnoVation, just as we're expecting, super macro-focused, and he's looking at Petraeus. All right, this guy's just, he's not the same level to the people I play. He's just another Zerg, and I'm going to kill the Zerg. Kill the Zerg.
Kill the Zerg, kill the drones. He's going to chase down one. Oh, nice morph into a Spore Crawler there. Has to jump straight on out to avoid the Queen, and does start his creep spread as well. Very important against a player like INnoVation, who is going to be diving everywhere.
12 lings being made.
Whoa, hello.
Like, 12 lings being made are in conjunction with speed finishing here.
Yeah.
But obviously they're going to be able to stop the Reaper, but 12 lings is a lot. But, I mean, it's not overextension, but to be honest, do you need 12 Zerglings at this point?
Yeah.
It is a little bit much. I guess he does want to get his third base down, but these Zerglings won't even do anything, unfortunately. There's already 2 Hinds out and another 2 to join them. 12's not enough.
Yeah, they're going to try and push back these Hellions, but even with the Reaper still alive as well, there's going to be that extra little bit of firepower there to deal with these Zerglings. They're actually going to go for it straight into the fires of hell here as they get completely roasted up.
Yeah. Smart from INnoVation, by the way, to pull his Reaper back as he knew Zergling speed was about to finish. He didn't lose the Reaper, wasn't overextending, just knows his timing, he saw the gas. And from Petraeus, by the way, playing a normal game, completely normal. Double Evolution Chamber down, it will line up to start 1-1 upgrades, and I'm just going to guess that it's going to be Zerglings. Very rarely do we see Roach heavy play nowadays. And so far, from Petraeus, it's not a bad game. Not a bad game, but he's 17 years old, from New Zealand, going up against the world #1. Let's see how long his normal game can stay until he makes a big mistake.
Yeah, he's got to keep composed, you're right. It's going to be a difficult time ahead of him. This is a best of 3, so, and it is double elimination bracket as well, we should also remind you. So every player does have a second chance here, as INnoVation now moving out into the middle of the map with these Hellions, looking to try and contain a little bit.
It's a very early Baling Nest.
Oh, yes it is.
I'm not too sure what that Baling Nest is about. It's very, very early on. Like, you'd be expecting to see the layer come down before a Baling Nest. Well, I mean, obviously it can be used defensively. Could be aggressive, but I don't think so. Like, slow Balings, it's not the best of things here. Maybe just a safety precaution against INnoVation here.
Yeah, I would agree. I have to agree with that. I mean, maybe he's thinking that his opponent, you know, isn't going to play to his normal style, maybe represent his skill and just underestimate what he can do, so he goes for, you know, INnoVation would try and go for an earlier push. I mean, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but maybe Petraeus thinks that might be the case.
But, I mean, it's basically just making his army a little bit stronger by spending a little bit more money, right?
Yeah.
But if he was to be able to hit Balings and connect them with all the Hellions, then it works. It's fine.
Oh, my.
It's just sometimes you don't need to do that. And
this Reaper actually got in really, really late on and sees the timing of the layer as well. So INnoVation knows exactly what he's playing against. So I'm very impressed at how much scouting intel that Reaper got off.
Yeah, and as we can see, INnoVation is just going to take his third. It's a little bit later to normal. INnoVation usually takes his third around 8 minutes to 8 minutes 30, so it is 9:30, which is a little bit later here. I'm not sure of the reason for that. I think he was just late on picking it up and sending it over. But overall, so far so decent. You know, the drone count's at 61 now. A couple of Zerglings are coming in just to push back any Hellions or Reapers that try to get towards the drone line. And the Spire's coming in too. And we should see 2-2 begin immediately. So far, still so good for Petraeus.
He's also spotted the fact that that third has gone down as well. So he's just keeping an eye on his opponent, making sure that he is keeping to the conformities of a normal game. But he now sees us move out here from the Marines with the 2 medevacs. And this is where INnoVation starts to threaten. This is where he starts to drop on multiple angles. And Petraeus is going to have to be well defended. He's already trying to close off his 4th base.
Yeah, this is where mistakes can happen now if he doesn't deal with this properly. INnoVation's a great player. He's got great macro, great micro here as well. And that's what we're going to be looking at with these Marines and medevacs, and how well that Petraeus can deal with this.
Cleaning up a lot of the creep, very, very nicely done. Doesn't have centrifugal hooks at all. Lair was a little bit later. It might be a bit harder for him to get that going. At the same time, though, the Zergling's trying to flood in. That's a lot of firepower here that INnoVation has. 1-1's just about to complete. The Marines have to run away from those Banelings, pick straight on up, and heads to the main.
I think INnoVation's doing a lot better than Petraeus is expecting to deal with. He's lost all his Banelings. There's still 60 Marines left.
Yeah, he's going to try and drop in the main, and not too bad a cleanup actually here by Petraeus, trying to focus down those medevacs with the Queens as well, so we'll push that back and keeps himself alive. He hasn't lost a single drone so far, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, he hasn't lost a single drone, but he loses a Queen.
On the low ground, it's kind of annoying. The Zerglings will run in and push this away again. But 2 more medevacs. That's
and
a lot
2
of
Widowmines in here too. He can actually just pick up. Oh, he's got to be careful about the okay, the Widowmine didn't do too much self-damage.
He loses an Overseer here to this as well. The Marines still going hell for leather on this hatchery, and it finish up. So the Zerglings and Banelings trying to come out to deal with this. A few Mutalisks in production as well, and he will push this away.
Nice pickup by INnoVation, but he's not going to kill the hatchery. So if we look at the units lost tab, I think that's just going to tell a big story in these fights. INnoVation's been a lot more cost efficient, and is here with even more units now.
Yeah, a lot of Marines. Once again, the pickups here, just saving them from the Banelings. Centrifugal still not done. Oh, but he's going to lose a Medevac full of Marines.
Yeah, that helps. That helps a lot here. And it looks like he may be able to stabilize with the pick off of those 8 Marines inside that Medivac. Now that Petraeus is okay to drone again. He's droning towards this. He's got 2-2 on the way. Pretty difficult set of minutes there for Petraeus. Behind this, of course, INnoVation. Of course, if we look inside his base, already has his barracks up and running, all of them. Already has 2-2 on the way. Already has the second factory. Who's already thrown down 3 more barracks. Just perfection by INnoVation behind all of the micro we're seeing and all of the control and harassment. He's got every structure he needs, again, just like always.
And it's going to be that parade constantly here from INnoVation. The Banelings move forward here to try and connect with a lot of this, but the separation is good. The Marines stay alive. 2 Widowmines haven't even used their explosions just yet. So that's going to be really annoying as they burrow under all of these Mutalisks. Oh, but they get killed off just before they can connect.
If only Centrifugal Hooks was done here, it would make things a lot easier.
Oh, and, well, those rocks actually go down, and that seals a lot of the Marines in. That was a pretty good move there in the end. I'm not sure whether it was intentional or not.
Look at INnoVation just swinging onto the other side. He's going to drop the 3rd base while keeping the pressure on. Once these rocks go down, he's going to aim to pick off this 4th as well. And Petraeus needs to survive. He needs not to lose his 4th base here. It's so important.
Yeah, it really is. And once again, the Medevac does end up going down, so Petraeus keeps his opponent kind of sealed in there. The Marines also on the left-hand side, though, working on the rocks, and there's more and more Widowmines always coming along with this army as well. It's going to make it even harder for Petraeus to push this back.
And here we go, another attack coming in from Petraeus. There's a lot of Widowmines in there, but that was a good hit from him.
That was a good hit on both sides, actually. You know, those Widowmines, they connected with a lot of Zerglings and Banelings, but they killed off a lot of Marines as well. So Petraeus holds on for now, but the pressure keeps piling on from INnoVation. He's never going to stop.
Yeah, and there's a 4th command center on the way, and once that gets mined, even though his main base is starting to run dry, he can very easily keep on building these units.
Banelings morphing in, and 11 of them in total. The Widowmines also burrowed in positions to retreat back into. Petraeus, he's not doing too badly, gotta say.
No, he's doing okay. He is doing okay, but he does need to beat down this next wave kind of hard. He's got a lot of room now. He's got a lot of Banelings out. If he stops this next wave by trading very cost efficiently, to be honest, he could actually get himself in a lead.
Yeah. But will it happen? Because Marines just keep pouring out of the bases here. Currently, Petraeus supply blocks is going to try and charge forwards to kill off a few of these Marines. Uses some of the Widowmine connections, not too badly. Banelings actually connect with some Marines as well. Mutalisks going to swing in from the side as well as Lings. This is a pretty good attack. Will he be able to clean this up? As it's another good split here with the Marines.
And there's a drop on the right-hand side. Of course, there is here by INnoVation. It's getting into the 3rd base. Unprotected now as the whole focus is on the other side. And it's not as cost-efficient as Petraeus would have liked here. He's lost all his Banelings. He's lost more and more Mutalisks as this game goes on. Remember that at this point for INnoVation, every unit he loses is disposable. That's the best part about INnoVation's playstyle, because there's so much freedom with his play. He's got 3 command centers. He's got a 4th one about to be taken.
Exactly. I mean, more so than the Zerg, it's more mineral intensive in terms of a unit composition, right? Whereas there's a lot of gas being pumped into Petraeus' army, which isn't as expendable as these Marines just constantly marching across the map.
Mutalisk count is starting to pick itself back up again. It's at 17. He's about to be at 20. But still, he needs to keep on surviving. Remember that +3 attack is soon to be finished as well, and that's just going to make things even more difficult to hold on.
And one thing I like for Petraeus is that he's actually keeping the Widowmine count down quite a lot, but at the same time, it's still just Marine after Marine after Marine.
Ooh, he picked off a lot of Medivacs there too. That really helps.
Yeah.
Really helps. And now he's got a lot of freedom. He's kept his 4th alive. And to be honest, he's survived. He needs to get back on gas on his 3rd base, which is one mistake he's having to, or hasn't dealt with properly. But once he's back in gas over there, which he's about to do, to be honest, he's looking okay again.
Yeah. What a game from Petraeus so far. Really well done by the New Zealander. And, well, the creep spread hasn't been going on for too much longer. That was cleaned up quite nicely in the middle. Nice focus fire there. Oh, the Widowmine actually detonated just before it ended up dying. But 3-3 is just finished as well for INnoVation, and that's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, and there's a drop going towards his 3rd base again. It had been spotted on the minimap, but Petraeus may not have seen it because he hasn't gone back to deal with it. So that could be a little bit painful, especially because he's moving out with his units now at the same time.
Yeah, trying to move into the middle of the map to kind of gain some kind of map presence at least to stop INnoVation from constantly marching. But, I mean, as you said, this drop is going to draw him back really, really firmly. And then on the left-hand side again, just darts straight on in. There's not that many Banelings here to defend this.
No. Good set of initial hits here, but with the Mutalisk combat, maybe you can hold on. You said 3-3 is done, and it is. This is going to make it difficult. And the hatchery... Oh, the hatchery's going to go down. Now he needs to kill everything. He actually doesn't need to trade efficient at all. He needs to kill everything.
Oh, and big Widowmine hits there. Catch a lot of those Mutalisks, making them all the more fragile. Kills off the Widowmine to the back, but there's 2 Widowmines. Ooh, splits those Mutalisks to make sure that not a lot of them die off. This is going to be close for him. He's trying to get another base up to the top right, but I don't know whether or not he's going to last the night here.
Yeah, well, INnoVation's got a 4th base. He stopped it with the Overload creep, but now INnoVation's mining from a 4th base, which means his income goes right back up to 15 Marines per cycle.
Oh, gee.
15 Marines per cycle. That's a massive amount.
Whoa.
And unfortunately here, with having lost that 4th base, it's 3 base versus 4. INnoVation for the last 10 minutes, all his focus has been on is destroying the 4th base, and he's got that now. And he's in the driving seat. He'll actually reach 200 supply very, very soon here. A couple more supply depots, and then it's 3-3 Marines, a tank in the mix for some reason. Why the hell not? And a bunch of mines. This next attack with 3-3, unfortunately, I feel is maybe too much here for Petraeus after losing that 4th base. He just doesn't have the income.
Yeah, Petraeus has to somehow buy some time, but he loses an Overseer in the middle of the map. The Mutalisks get caught off guard as well there. Meanwhile, Mutalisks trying to do some damage at the 4th base, but not really doing anything. And INnoVation is just going to punish this base out in the middle of nowhere, to be honest with you, as the creep spread wasn't there to connect this up. Banelings are going to try and come in to defend as well, but I will push this away for now. Not too bad just far.
Yeah, not too bad, but that's still a lot of mines and Marines left.
Yeah. Oh, catches a lot of the mines, but he did lose quite a few Mutalisks, down to 16. Going to catch some of the medevacs, though, as well.
And guess what? Another wave is coming. INnoVation went down south to see the old 4th base if it had been put up again, and he was like, oh, it's not there. Great. I guess my focus now becomes on this right-hand side of the map, and he's going to move forward here. +2 attacks obviously going to help out, and probably could have and should have been researched earlier, but it's not now, and that's not going to help.
Oh, those Banelings really don't get the connections that they want, and those Marines are just going to march on. There you go, GG for game at number 1. Petraeus ends up losing in that first game in this best of 3, but I have to say, he put up a darn good fight in that mid-game.
Yeah, he put up a very good fight. But overall, if I was to say what went wrong for Petraeus, is that the trades just weren't efficient enough.
Yeah.
From the very get-go, when he was fighting against the double medivacs and 16 Marines, a very normal movement out, he didn't deal with that in the best way possible. You could say that INnoVation microed very well, picked up, moved around, did a lot of damage. But from that point on in the game, it was always in INnoVation's favor. It was always INnoVation with the advantage, and Petraeus could never topple it from there.
It's going to be a tough one now going into game number 2. I feel that Petraeus here has to try and mix it up. Going into a mid-game against his opponent, and yes, I mean, he did fight valiantly, and he did try and hold his opponent off, but all the while, INnoVation was in his comfort zone there, and Petraeus somehow needs to move his opponent out of his comfort zone, which I guess will come from some aggression here from Petraeus.
Yeah.
And the map is going to be Frost, so game number 2 on the way. What do you think about that, Apollo? Do you think Petraeus sticks with it?
Yeah.
Or
Plays the same.
Yeah?
Just tightens up, plays the same. I think he'll look at that as in, I can make small adjustments to play a better game. So I think he'll play the same.
There were some times there where he did get supply blocked as well when that secondary push was coming that really, really hurt his ability to hold it off a bit more efficiently. So anyway, let's jump into game number 2, guys, as we have spawning down in the bottom left-hand corner. Currently 1 game up. Representing Korea and Team Acer, he is INnoVation. And down to the bottom right, we have our yellow Zerg representing New Zealand as well as Phonetic Array. He is Petraeus.
In these positions, obviously not a big fan for Petraeus here.
No.
As we saw from the mid-game onwards when INnoVation plays, it's always him putting the pressure onto you. And it's not the other way around. So in these expansions, the way that they work out, they are relatively close. And if INnoVation's the one putting pressure onto you, then if you're the one that's closer, you're the one that's going to be, taking the heat. And that means that INnoVation's playstyle will be very normal, I imagine, from the get-go, just opening up exactly the same. But a focus point of him will be to drop around to the 4th base, which it depends on which one's taken first.
Yeah,
I mean, either one of the two bases on the right-hand side, this one or the one at the south, depending on which one's the third and fourth, INnoVation will drop one of them and will have all his attack waypointed to the other one. And what I expect it to be is the third base will most likely be at the south one. So I think this will be the drop focus, because the drop focus can hit that base and go to the main.
Yep.
Because they're so close. And then all the units from INnoVation probably waypointed through the Xel'Naga Tower in the middle to aim towards this base. That should be how INnoVation would like to play this game out.
Yeah, it's actually a very insightful thing that you mentioned, because, you know, the medevacs are always going to be far more effective down that south side, as you mentioned. So that is certainly a point of contention here for Petraeus. But just in general for Petraeus and the guys in the Southeast Asia scene, unless you're playing on the Korean server, which we see a lot of them do, for example, Pig is Grandmasters on the Korean server, it's really, really hard for them to get training against Terrans or Protoss. So, you know, the majority of strong players in that scene are, are just, Zergs. So getting training against Terran, people like Iagaz are your only kind of go-to. But Iagaz's TVZ is obviously very, very strong because he just plays on ladder. There's a lot of Zergs. He obviously has that. And he doesn't necessarily, practice with a lot of them. Now, maybe he does with Petraeus, because he's a teammate, but maybe that doesn't even factor into it. So it's a tough situation for the guys in the Southeast Asian scene, being so isolated.
Oh, Roach Warren comes down. Bam. I was actually thinking about why the gas was taken so early. You don't need gas this early. You don't need a rush Zergling speed out against INnoVation, who's going to play the same game every single day, right?
Yeah.
So what we're going to see, we will see drones after this, I'd imagine, but just a big swell to spend all the gas he's banked up in Roaches and then drones behind it. He's looking to hit INnoVation.
Oh, and he's going to lose an Overlord. Yeah. Unless these two Zerglings can get over there and really do some damage. Admittedly, the barracks did switch, so he can't have a second Marine out in time to really deal with this. So the two Zerglings
save this Overlord.
Yeah, I think he can.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, is that I feel that Petraeus, he kind of fell into the trap of my mentality, right? Oh, there was a second Marine out. Never mind. But he saves the Overlord for now. He kind of fell into the mentality of the trap that I was, alluding to before, whereas I feel that your option of going into the same game and just playing a tighter game, trying to play your game off it, was probably the better way, because I don't think INnoVation is going to be broken by this.
Well, INnoVation is world class, right? INnoVation knows that there's a gas been taken. INnoVation, in his mind right now, knows that aggression is a potential. He's already walled off completely with the bunker and supply depots very early on, before the third command center, realizing that the threat is there.
Yeah.
He's not willing to take a risk and get the third down command center immediately. I don't know how much this can do.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely could still do damage, because SCVs are going to have to be pulled off to repair the bunker. So then he can target down the SCVs with the Roaches.
He certainly loses maybe a few SCVs if this actually happens. But Petraeus did a clever thing of killing off, sending out these two Zerglings to try and push those Marines away so that, he wasn't able to see what was going on until the last second with those Hellions. Now, they will move forwards and start working on those SCVs, but breaking down this wall is too hard right now, I think.
Yeah, look at the two Hellions. They actually picked off one of the Roaches at the back. Yeah. He is losing a lot of SCVs, though, and that's always going to be the case here. But is he going to let the bunker die? I don't think so.
Exactly. He's lost 10 so far, and actually this isn't too bad of the damage done here for Petraeus, but this comes at the compensatory, factor of the fact that behind this he didn't have as many drones as possible, and INnoVation completing his third command center as well is going to be able to replenish those SCVs a little quicker.
We may see a secondary all-in.
You think?
Maybe, because Zergling speed is done. He's taken a second gas as well behind this. Well, maybe. It's not for sure, but definitely could come like a Roach bailing attack or something as well after this. But INnoVation survived. The drone count to SCV is in favor of Petraeus. I'd call this a successful attack.
Yeah.
If he loses a lot to these Hellions on the other side, then it's not as successful.
And he certainly could do if these Hellions actually just dart in. There's not that many Zerglings there to stop them. And the Queens need to be well positioned here to try and deal with this. But so far, Petraeus hasn't reacted in that regard.
Nope. But he does have a few Zerglings, 9, and then a couple more coming out. So he's not really going to lose. And the Roaches have come back as well. But with INnoVation having 3 command centers, he will catch up very, very fast.
Yeah, he certainly will. And the Bailing Nest goes down as well. So do you believe that this is going to be for the big kind of swell of aggression again?
No. I don't think so.
Okay.
He's got double evolution chamber down. If he doesn't start 1-1, then yes.
Okay.
If he does, then
there we
no.
go.
So yeah, the Baleen Nest, even though it came down here, I really feel that that's a tendency of his to feel safe.
Yeah.
Rather than to be aggressive.
Yeah, it seems so. He's been using that in the past 2 games, and it's, you know, it worked out kind of okay at the beginning of the first game, and then kind of tilted off at the end. But you know, with this 1-1 and with this third base down, and the Hellions not really doing anything other than gaining him a little map control in the middle of the map, I think Petraeus is in a pretty good spot here.
Yep. I'd say, like I said, I think the Roach attack was successful. It picked off enough SCVs to warrant the cause of it. Therefore, he's at a decent position. You know, 52. Yeah. I mean, about to be 58 drones. He's got 1-1 on the way. He's got his Balings ready. To be honest, I say that compared to the last game where he didn't do this, he has. It's hard to tell. Like maybe a 20 to 30 seconds advantage from where he was last game.
Yeah.
So by the time that INnoVations comes over with his units and 2 medivacs, I'd say that Petraeus is like 30 seconds ahead of where he was last time. Maybe a little bit more as well.
So he has far more
he has more money, he has more drones, he has more units.
And even Centrifugal Hooks has started far quicker than last game.
Roach speed starting here.
Ooh, interesting.
With Roach speed starting, I'm pretty sure that we're going to see now not a Spire come down, and all his gas is going to go over to Balings and Roaches, and that he's going to deal with the first push out from INnoVation, hopefully picks off a lot of it, and then he's going to go for a big counterattack, Roach speed and Baling speed together as one.
So kind of similar to what I was referring to previously about the whole Hyunsa whoop. Hold the phone here, though.
Oh, that Baling.
Oh. Caught quite a bit of that and forces the lift up. Petraeus is doing really well in this game, I gotta say.
The problem is, if you don't play Spire and you spend all your gas on Balings and Roaches, you need to be very good at defending against drops because you don't have mules to pick them off. So he always needs to be in position while building up his army. So currently, we should see him build up his army, getting ready for an attack, at the same time using that army that he's building up for the attack in a defensive manner that he doesn't take losses versus drops.
Thankfully for him, he does have the vision to deny this for now, so he's not doing too badly with that. And the thing is, though, is that INnoVation has still constantly been mixing in the Marauders in comparison to last game, where, you know, that just wasn't a factor. He was always just Marine and Widowmine heavy. So this could work out for INnoVation in terms of the defense. Oh, but that's a lot of Banelings. That's a lot of Banelings.
That's a lot of units. That's a lot of units indeed. And, you know, the drops has been dealt with. There's an attack getting ready to come here. And it may be able to work. INnoVation kind of realizes what's going on now because he's seen all the units strolling across. He's seen that the Roaches have speed, the Balings have speed. He's like, oh my god, what the hell, an attack?
Oh, that one Widowmine did not get a good connection. He only got like 1 Zergling kill, and the Balings continue to move on forward. But great micro here thus far by INnoVation. Oh, one of the Balings does end up connecting there. There's still quite a lot left. The Roaches and Balings and Zerglings just marching on forward. And INnoVation's supply box, he has to evacuate the natural.
15 more Balings being morphed. This could be a win here for Petraeus.
It really could. That is a lot of Banelings morphing in and completely shutting down that natural is a great win for him. His income behind this is fantastic in comparison.
Yeah, and he's got 2-2 upgrades on the way, where INnoVation's stuck at 1-1 right now because he's focusing on his defense.
Oh, this is where I felt that Petraeus' best choice was to best opportunity was to shut down INnoVation, and it's kind of working. I mean, all of this aggression without INnoVation being able to mine, the Banelings move forwards again. The Widowmines have not connected properly. Oh, until 1 or 2 there just then.
But this has been cleaned up.
Yeah.
This has been cleaned up now. INnoVation doesn't die. He's lost a lot of SCVs in this game, 30 in total. He's down to 43, but he did not die. The Spires come in. So what we're seeing from Petraeus after this attack, which I'd say, again, was, you know, kind of successful. Not as successful as it could have been, because INnoVation's not dead. But he's up to a very high drone count. He's got 2-2 on the way. He's got Zerglings being made, and he's going over towards the Spire. The problem is, there's a lot of medivacs out. There's quite a few Marines and Mines as well. Obviously, when the Spire is done, that's when things get a little bit more easier because he's able to deal with the medivacs and also able to deal with the Widowmines. But it's not too far away. It's not too far away. But look at the supplies. It's so very close.
Yeah, it really is. The Spire's in a bit of an interesting position. It's quite vulnerable if he were to breach that position. But that being said, if he did breach that position anyway, then Petraeus will be in huge trouble, as that's a very important place to control for Petraeus. And, well, he's going to try and counter with some Zerglings later on here up to the left-hand side and get his 4th base up to the right. So he's trying to expand away from his opponent at least, which could help, but it's difficult to defend these bases that are on the outer rim of the map for him.
Well, he's up to 4 bases, not a 5th. And INnoVation's going to start piling the pressure on here. There is a Ling counterattack set up on the left-hand side, by the way, for when INnoVation moves out. But We'll see if that can do damage. The 11 Mulis are coming in. 2-2 is complete, so, I mean, Petraeus is in a pretty good position, especially compared to last game.
For Pneumatized Carapace on the way as well here for Petraeus, just so he can, keep a good eye on his opponent and spot what's going on. He could even follow that up later on with Vengeful Sax, but that would be totally crazy. I haven't seen that for quite a while. The Mutalisks here just trying to swing on around and do some damage to this third base, which actually doesn't have any missile turrets at it, nor Marines. So it would take him a little bit more time if he were to actually go there, but he's decided to pull back for now.
I'm not sure if INnoVation's realized his opponent's expanded north. I think he may, because he sent a Marine down the bottom.
Yeah.
But the 4th and 5th base is north here, and that was really smart play from Petraeus, because I mentioned earlier that if he'd expanded down south, that's when INnoVation would have played a crazy game. But he didn't do that.
Just straight for the aggression.
The one thing that is missing from Petraeus, because he went for Roach and speed and Bailing speed style, is that there's no attack upgrades on the Mulus for a very long time in this game, which makes them not as deadly as they could have been.
Yeah, the gas has to be expended elsewhere, and Petraeus, well, he kills off a missile turret and even kills off a reactor, which isn't too bad. Didn't lose too much in that. And the medevacs and everything just going to try and come back to make sure that they can't continue that. Even the War Banelings, Oh, Petraeus, 40 workers killed. Nicely done.
Yeah, that was a nice attack there. Nice attack, that counter-attack. Nice. But he doesn't really have too many Banelings to defend at this moment. He's only got 18. I guess that's not too bad. It depends on this fight. If he deflects this attack, which I feel he may be able to with the amount of Banelings and Lings and Mutas he already has the Hive on the way. He'd be able to get to 3-3 and Ultralisk of his own.
Zerglings have to flood in at the front, but
that's
they're gonna...
not a good start to this fight.
No, those Widow Mines. Although 5 Widow Mines being expended for that small an army that did push forwards is not too bad, but he certainly has to defend this base up to the north with, INnoVation bearing down on 3-3. Yeah. One thing that I do like for Petraeus, though, is that his Hive is morphing in at a far better time than it ever was in game number 1 because it just wasn't there. So he can eventually get up to 3-3 himself, but it's going to be a while.
Just needs to hold on to this attack. Yeah. If he holds on to this attack, he's in a very, very good position. There's no 4th command center from INnoVation because he's lost so many SCVs throughout the game. He just doesn't have as strong as an income. And to be honest, there's even a flank set up at the north. There's the Mulus in the middle and then more Zergling and Banelings down the south. If INnoVation tries to go up there, he's looking to squish this. And look at this flank. Look at this army movement on the minimap.
Oh my, he's coming in from every single angle. The Widow Mines, has so many of those Mutalisks, and the Zerglings and Banelings clean this up, though. There's a few more Widow Mines still there.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
That was painful.
That really was.
Even though he was been looking so good, now he's in trouble. Because he can't, he's getting dropped in the main base, by the way. He doesn't have any defense there. INnoVation just did a lot of damage, very cost-efficient trade-off there. And he can't use the Hive. He can't go to 3-3. He needs Banelings. He needs to be able to defend. And upon losing all those Mulus, he has to build 8 more. That one single attack has changed the game.
Yeah, those Mutalisks dying is catastrophic here for Petraeus. And now INnoVation is capitalizing on it greatly. Even killing off this base, more so than the minerals, just shutting down the gas, which he needs in handfuls, in buckets, in spades. He needs as much gas as possible to hold this off, as well as get those upgrades, because 3-3 is going to kick in very, very soon for INnoVation.
Yeah, INnoVation found the 4th, he found the 3rd. And this is what happens when you lose so much of the mines there.
Yeah.
INnoVation's in a very good position.
Yeah, especially not only just in the game, but also in this position on the high ground. The Zerglings and Banelings try and flood in, but those 2 Widow Mines on the ramp did hold for a little bit. Banelings and Zerglings continue to move on in, though, and will force the retreat. So not too bad of a cleanup, and saves his 5th base.
8 Banelings left over. 14 more being made. There's a bunch of new units in the middle of the map for INnoVation with 3-3. And there is a 4th command center finally on its way here for INnoVation.
It was delayed for quite a long time because of all of those SCVs lost.
But technically, even though that we saw Petraeus lose that 4th base, he does have another one up to the top right. So he's still mining on 4 bases, which is strong for him. He has a 5th down to the bottom as well. So in terms of his income, he's not in terrible shape. He just needs to keep on surviving again until this 3+3 attack can be researched, maybe +3 Carapace, maybe the Ultras can come down. But it is still difficult. He's going to be losing the majority of fights efficiently because of 3-3 over 2-2 and all the mines here.
I think more so than not, though, he needs to get in gas in these bases, right? Yeah. Like up to the top, there is the drop there as well as this aggression.
Oh, wow. INnoVation destroying the 5th, destroying the 4th, and defending his 3rd.
Yeah, very, very well done here. Those Mutalisks get pushed back as well at this location. They will start working on this command center and do some damage to it, but aside from that, he needs to be dealing with far more pressing issues over the other side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, there's a drop in the main base as well. This is a nice pick-off if he's able to get that command center, but It should get repaired, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it does. Well, it doesn't even get picked off. It gets repaired and should just go 9.
This is kind of hard to observe. There's things going on everywhere, so it's early in the morning.
Man.
Oh, geez. Keeping up with him
It's
is
not
really
early in the
difficult.
morning for INnoVation. It's afternoon for INnoVation.
No, indeed. He's well rested and just good to go, man. He's really testing my morning's patience. But he's doing it well, yeah, I've got to say. He got cleaned up in the main, and, well, he's denying all the bases up to the north. And now, Petraeus' income is going to be a sorry sight very soon if INnoVation can just get his 4th base up and running, where there's 2 Zerglings burrowed, so that's annoying here for INnoVation.
Yeah, and I don't know if he knows they're there or not, so...
Yeah, he doesn't just yet.
Well, 3-3 is on its way here for Petraeus, but he's got a lot of Balins, a lot of Zergs in the middle, but still, I think there's a lot of units here for INnoVation.
He's going to try and move up to this 4th location, once again denying it, but well defended here by INnoVation.
And there's still, you know, the drop at the north here. Petraeus is trying to prevent INnoVation from mining from this new base, because obviously if INnoVation starts mining from this base, then he's in a very, very good position. If he doesn't mine from that base, he could mine from the south one as well. He picked up his main command center.
And very important, he has to keep his economy alive whilst just damaging his opponents in turn. And 3-3 for Petraeus will finish up.
That's good.
It is. Oh, but that's not so good. 2 of those Widow Mines connecting with those Mutalisks. That's going to soften them up very nicely for this Bio to push in against this assault. And, oh, Petraeus lost so much without killing anything.
Yeah, and his 3-3 is not done yet either. He doesn't have an Ultralisk Cavern down. He's kind of struggling when it comes to his income. He's down to 120 supply. INnoVation's up to 170. Has now double expanded. Wow, double expanding is going to give him a lot of income.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, this is going to be too much here. Once these mules start kicking in, they've just landed, then that is going to be a lot now, slowly moving up. He needs his gases as well, but it's not as important for him because, again, he's still stuck on very mineral-intensive, a lot of Marines.
2,000 gas in the bank as well.
Oh, geez, yeah, he does. That's a good point. So he's flying, man. And this Ultralisk Cavern finishing up. Yes, that's nice, but he's not going to have any economy to fuel it.
Right, he actually needs to save this base. Petraeus needs to save this base, otherwise he just won't have enough money. And I don't think he realizes he can't. So.
GG.
Wow, INnoVation just pushing and showing his dominance once again. And the Terran versus Zerg matchup.
Does well for himself, and he advances on in this bracket. I'm curious to see if we have any updates elsewhere in this bracket so far. Let's just quickly check here for the Asian finals for the qualifiers. Zest already beat Ash 2-0, which to a lot of people as well as myself is probably not too much of a surprise. Zest, during the entire qualification run, both Stage 1 and Stage 2, looked very good. So beating Ash 2-0, and then Curious beating our second Chinese representative, who I'm not going to say the name of, 2-0. So he advances on as well. San's currently 1 game up against Pig.
San's one of the best when it comes to Pros versus Zerg, so that's, to some may say, expected there.
Yeah, certainly. So that means that our 2 Chinese representatives, Ash and Zhao, somebody's going to tweet me and tell me how to pronounce this, and if you do, I am so thankful. And that means we have INnoVation versus Zest in the upper, and then Curious will play either San or Pig in the upper as well. Yeah. So
I have 4 Koreans looking to move on to the next round quite easily so far, not dropping a map.
That's a tough thing for our Chinese and Southeast Asian representatives. If you had to pick one of the Chinese or the Southeast Asian players to do well here or advance on the furthest, who would you pick?
Pig.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I would have to go with that as well. I think Pig's the definite surefire bet there in terms of what he's done.
Maybe Ash, but Pig.
All right. Well, they'll probably all be facing off against one another in the lower bracket.
So I guess we'll find out how far they go right. This is going to be quite a fast bracket. There's only a couple of games, to be honest, left in the upper bracket to find out who's going to grab the first spot to Intouch Masters New York. And then they'll be all fighting down in the losers to grab the second. Yeah,
the people in the upper, they only need technically 2 more series wins to actually advance on. So guys, don't go anywhere. After the commercial break, we shall have some more Intel Extreme Masters Asia qualifiers, stage number 3, on the way for you very soon.